ready, and we're going to try to get another ending of Helena's Flowers because we just got the bad end. And it was a really cool ending, but like we want to see if we like make different choices, whether we'll get a different ending.
Yeah. Just to see, like, you know, the good ends. Like, the bad ends, I agree, they're my favorite because obviously it takes, like, a lot more work to make it, like, bad. But, I don't know. I think we should. So, Flower Field or...
I think we should I'll just stay here.
Okay.
Because, like, we're at the crash site right now.
Alright.
That's fine. We are repeat players.
Yeah, okay. We're experts now.
Yes. Let's visit the crash site. And let's skip.
Yeah. Crash site.
We all know what's going to happen. Crash site. And then we'll keep skipping until we can't skip anymore.
And then we'll do the flower field again.
Yeah.
So is your day going good?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
I woke up at like 3. So, I don't know.
That's nice.
Yeah. We've considered maybe doing like a podcast once we have like enough subscribers that people actually listen to whatever shit we're saying.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I mean, it'd be hard to like speak for an hour, especially through like the equipment we have. You know what I mean? Like, I would love, even now would be fine, I think, because it's mostly just like us trying to, you know, just talking, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm at the part where
it's like
the
yes.
options are yes or no is not a good time. So
I don't know, just say yes to her, whatever. Yes,
yeah,
always.
Skipping again. I'm on a crash site. And skip. Basically, we're gonna skip until we can't skip.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll do the same, I guess, for the flowers then.
Yeah. Oh, I returned to the crash site.
Yeah.
So.
The woman was there, working as usual. I moved to her side, looking through the flowers. She said nothing to me, but the air between us was not inhospitable. At midday, she pulled out some rations and handed them to me.
I am sorry for before.
What?
That I wasn't able to answer your question. I later realized what you were trying to ask.
Ah.
None of us ever knew you. We only heard what other people were saying about you. And then when you fled to Velusa.
I did not flee, Pensilia. I eloped.
I wasn't sure.
Ooh, scandalous.
At first they said you were taken.
I laughed. I take it you haven't met Alexandra, so I don't think she could take anyone if she tried. Not without help, that is.
Then, when you eloped to Velusa, people began talking. Everyone had a different story, each claiming to know the truth. Yet, the general mood was not favorable to your plight.
I'm aware of what they have said about me, Pensilia.
Did they say similar things in Velusa?
I turned to her, my fingers digging into my hand. Why are you bringing all of this up?
I did not know you, though I thought I did. And I feel as if I should write that.
She looks so sad.
I want to know the true Helena of Achaea, so when we go back, I may dispel some of the lies with the truth.
You are more of a fool than I took you for. She stepped back, shocked. If this could be fixed with something so simple, it would have been done before, don't you understand? No! I paused, trying to calm myself a bit. You must realize they want me to be that way. Helena of Achaea, who isn't a woman who feels regret over her actions, scared that she will ever find a place in her home that she's so destroyed. She's a harlot who ran off with the neighboring planet's heir apparent because she was more attractive than her other spouse. She's vain, she's cruel, and most importantly, she's interesting.
But that's not who you are.
It's who they want me to be. It's the role that I'm meant to play, just as Menelaus was her own role to play as Empress.
But is that who you want to be?
I looked down.
Helena, please look at me.
No, you're just a soldier who can't make me do anything.
That wasn't an order. That was simply a request.
I continued to look down, my fists clenched.
I did not mean to give you any distress. You are much kinder than I had originally taken you for. I was just thinking that it is a shame that that role of yours prevents others from seeing so. If you would excuse me.
She took her leave then, moving off to go look through another patch of grass a long ways off. I quickly brushed away the tears in my eyes. Ooh, we getting invested. Okay.
Yes, crash site.
The next time I visited the crash site was with a heavy heart. Ooh, excuse me. I did not want Pensilia to continue the conversation she had so abruptly begun before, but luckily enough, she seemed to be as tired as I felt. We both continued to search, but to no avail. Celia came to me at the end of the day with a solemn look on her face.
We have been here searching for a good while now.
Yes.
Let us stop looking.
There was no hint of a smile on her face. She was serious. And then what? Run out of food? If we give up, we will never return to IKEA.
Do you want to return?
Just imagine like all of these IKEA, like
It's your fault.
I ruined the seriousness. But we shouldn't just give up.
If that piece is found, I will have to fulfill my mission and bring you back.
That's true. Let's stay together forever.
I am tired. I will be taking my leave.
She left, leaving me in silence. I feel like either way, we're gonna have a bad end.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's on the same end though, because that would be boring.
Yeah. I woke up that morning to find that my hair and paint... Oh yeah, okay, skip.
Yeah.
Crash site. Celia was nowhere to be seen. It was just the flowers, the ripped metal of the ship wreckage, and I. She had given up. No longer with a reason to return and no place to return to, the soldier had decided on her future. As for I, did I need to go home? Sure, it was an elegant idea. The war would truly end when the woman who had started it returned to her rightful place, but... My eyes drifted to the mud splattered on the edges of my dress. I stood up straighter. What was I thinking? Of course I had to return home. I couldn't starve to death on some backwater lover's planet. A cruel thought came to me. My, just imagine it. If we did die here and they found us years down the road, what a stir that would cause. The great Helena of IKEA found dead on a lover's planet with yet another woman. How fitting. It meant to be a joke, but I only felt my throat tighten. I turned to return to the pond, no longer with the energy to continue looking. But, ouch! What? My dress was unmistakably dirty now. I looked behind me to see that a few of the Helenicus flowers had grabbed my ankles. Ooh!
What?
Damn you, ugly flowers! Lost but frustrated, I began to tear at the flowers that had dared to touch me, their short, immature roots disrupting the soil beneath them. Wait. I looked closer to where I was. Ah, this is one of Celia's graves. The flowers had already begun to overgrow where we had disturbed them upon our descent. Isn't she more concerned that they have a life of their own?
They just grabbed her?
She's just like, oh, my dress. You know? Like, there are bigger issues right now. I wondered how many years would have to pass after our deaths for the planet to return to its original state. Would they ever find us? I began to pick at the young flowers that had covered up the soldiers' graves. What if we find Celia's name?
I don't think they have, like, tombstones.
It's all been an illusion. She's been alone from the start. That's it. It's the Matrix. Finally, the three mounds peeked out from where they had been so covered before, except one of the graves had been picked away at its base, perhaps from the roots of the flowers ripped it away. And what is that? There at the base of the grave was a black reflective item that was half uncovered. I crouched down. It looked metallic. I quickly began to dig. It was a metal object the size of my forearm. This was what we'd been looking for. It was a ship piece. At last, we found it. I dug my fingers around its base and pulled at it with my might. That looks like an armband thing.
It's really weird.
Finally! How did we overlook this thing for so long? I screamed. We had overlooked it because the ship's piece had been the cause of the death of the pilot. On our crash landing, her face had smashed itself onto the console, embedding said ship piece deep into her forehead. Ooh. Her burial must have been a quick... Did they not notice?
Yikes.
Like, they buried her with the ship piece necessary right in her face. And then it's like, we need to look for it. Like, no one noticed.
It probably, wasn't stuck to her forehead.
Yeah, but it was, on her right now, right? Like, that's why she
just,
screamed?
near her. I don't know.
Somebody wasn't paying attention.
Bloody? It seemed pretty clean to me.
Yeah. With no time given to discern just what had killed her, I shook the ship's piece still in my hands. A decomposing head was still impinged on the side of it. Yeah. I tried my hardest to keep my composure, averting my eyes, but my shaking quickly dislodged the decomposing head from the end of the piece, and I soon found myself free from the doomed pilot's fatal grip. I quickly fled to the flower field in order to leave the woman behind. Finally, we had found it. We were going back to IKEA, where Menelaus would greet us, and my throat tightened again. No, I can't think this way. I'm going home. I should be happy. Home. I was going home. Where was my home anyway? The metal felt cold in my hands.
Crash site?
Mm-hmm. Ah, Penthesilea. She turned around. She looked tired.
You cleared the flowers away.
They'd overgrown the graves. I tripped over one of them. It was a hazard.
I see.
Can't you let her know you found the missing piece?
Right?
She looked back at the graves.
I hadn't realized that we couldn't see them anymore.
Well, they're all better now. How long have they been there?
11 days?
Yeah, but it's like if the flowers grew over them.
Yeah, I guess they're really fast growing.
Yeah. Or it's like that Spirited Away thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So we won't be forgetting them anytime soon. I treaded lightly on the subject. I wasn't sure how close she had been to her companions.
Penelope hated you, you know?
What?
She blamed you for her spouses having to go off to war. They have yet to return, though some say they are simply lost. Perhaps they're stranded on some distant lover's planet as well.
What was her spouse's name?
Odysseus.
Oh, we know.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah. Oh, I felt cold. Yeah, as you should be.
What is it?
Odysseus was one of my suitors. Back before Menelaus was chosen as the victor for my hand.
I see.
The soldier said nothing to that. If Penelope hated me, then why was she sent on this mission?
Because she was capable. We all were capable. Because she wanted some small revenge. To return the woman who had destroyed her happiness. And now she's dead.
Was she a friend of yours?
Of all of us, I was closest to her. Thetis and Alcimene, They weren't as quick to trust me, I being native Elusian.
What? My heart stopped.
Perhaps I should reword that. I come from a small planet on the outskirts of Elusa's domain. We have long existed as our own entity, only being ruled by Walusa these past few decades.
But why are you fighting for IKEA then?
Because the pay is better.
You would betray your own homeland so easily?
You misunderstand.
I can't get over her eyebrows. I can't keep looking.
She's so well drawn otherwise.
Yeah, but it's just like the finish.
Yeah.
You know?
My home planet is perhaps only 3 times the size of this one, and densely populated. There is not much of a home to return to.
But surely you have some friends or family. She seemed unwilling to continue at first.
They have also left the planet.
And what of loyalty?
What of it?
My head's on the ground, that's what it is. I'm always thinking. I don't see how you can turn your back on your homeland so easily. Have you no pride? A soldier should be willing to give their lives so that their country may continue to thrive. She looked at me.
And I cannot understand how you are so adamant in defending a country that has done nothing but destroy you, all in the name of loyalty.
I wrung my hands. How dare you speak to me in such a manner, soldier?
Helena.
No!
Helena!
She took a step towards me. Yeah! No, I screamed. What? Are you going to kill me? Is this how it's all going to end?
Helena, I won't lay a hand on you, if that is what you wish.
No, I don't! Come back!
I promise. I will be taking my leave.
This is the worst vacation ever. She left and I couldn't stop shaking. Crash site. Can we just have a happy end now? Somehow I find myself at the crash site. It looked the same as always, the flowers peeking up from the fertile ground. Celia was nowhere to be seen. How many days had passed and yet we were still here? I don't want to be here. But where exactly do I want to be? I laid down in the flowers and pulled out the ship piece from where I had been storing it. What? Okay, just put it there then, unless, I don't know. It would most likely still function. We could leave this planet. We could go. Go where? To IKEA? To the crumbling ruins of Velusa? To another country? To some other planet? They would recognize me. They would find us. My beauty would... That's so, arrogant. My beauty would make sure of that. Okay. I was tired. I wanted this all to end. I wanted to rest. I could feel my eyes water. A word came to the front of my conscience. Home. I want to go home.
Crash site?
Mm-hmm. Celia was again viewing the graves. She seemed much thinner than I remembered. We have been here for a while, haven't we? What are you thinking? You seem lost.
Lost is a good word for it.
How so? She looked at me. She seemed too tired to continue. Have you been eating?
A bit.
You can have my rations for the day.
No. You need to eat.
Why?
Because I need to return you to IKEA. A mission.
She choked on the last word.
I'm sorry, Helena.
For what?
For...
She just shook her head. She couldn't continue. I reached into my dress and pulled out my day's rations, handing it to her. She refused. I ignored her and shoved it into her hands, at which she recoiled at my touch. Neither of us are in the mood for showings of pride. Eat. She nodded slightly and ate the rations. Later, we both sat next to the silent ship, simply watching the stars above us. After this, where do you want to go?
After what?
We get off this planet. When we get off this planet.
I don't know.
Will you stay around IKEA? She frowned.
I am sick of IKEA.
You will leave then? She turned to look at me.
There is nothing for me there.
I'm here. Like, I'm standing in front of you. Hello? Like, at least pretend to have tact. I see. I felt cold all of a sudden.
Yeah, because you were just rejected.
Yeah, like, this is the first that has happened to me. What is this feeling?
Though, I am not sure where else to go. I suppose I'll just wander for a bit. What of you? Where will you go?
Wherever you go. You ask as if I have a choice.
Do you not? You don't have to stay in IKEA, you know?
Because that worked out so well for me when I left the first time.
I am sorry.
They wouldn't let me leave. Not for long. I consider it a miracle that they haven't found us out here. I'm not used to being unwatched.
Is it strange?
Being unwatched? Very. Feels odd. No one has mentioned my dirty dress, nor of my appearance. If I were there, near Menelaus, she would say that I was not worthy of the name Helena as long as I looked in such a disarray. I picked out one of the flowers near my feet, pulling the petals off.
That sounds cool.
But I has preserved my name. I am known as the most beautiful woman in the galaxy because of it.
But are you?
She rejected you and called you ugly. No wonder she killed her. I shot up looking at her. What do you mean?
I mean, is it true that you are the most beautiful woman in the galaxy?
How could you ask me that? I am Helena.
Yes, but...
No, I won't listen to you. Same. I covered my ears and shut my eyes. I tried to control my breathing. I know what you're going to say. What all the others have said to me. But... I opened my eyes again. Celia was staring sadly at me. I have nothing to change into, nothing to clean myself up with. Oh, she's beginning to realize that she has no other talents. Girl, I'll feel you. Like, I get it. I get it. Don't worry, I'll hold your hand through this.
Also, I love how Celia looks, like, dirtier, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even, Helena the same. Like, they're both...
Yeah.
I like it, yeah. I know that I'm tarnishing my name by looking like this, but please, believe me. I am Helena. The soldier said nothing to me, simply watching me. It's only us two on this planet, correct? Please, don't tell anyone. Don't tell them that this is who I am, what I truly look like. The soldier stood up, her hand hovering over my shoulder, and then pulled her hand back.
I will tell no one, Helena. And I did not mean to insinuate that you were not beautiful enough. I was just struck by how human you were. The stories talk of your otherworldly beauty, yet you are strangely human.
I want to be alone right now. She nodded and quietly excused herself. Finally, I was alone and unwatched. I laid down in the field of flowers, gazing at the ship. I needed to show Pensilia the ship piece to let her know that we could leave any time. Why haven't you?
Right?
Like, can't you decide where to go on your way back? Though neither of us had even feigned to even have been looking lately. Cilia.
Yes?
Ooh, we're friends now.
Yeah!
I rolled over and saw the woman standing over me. Ah. I sat up and brushed petals off of my dress. I was just... Oh, that's you.
May I sit next to you?
I suppose. She sat down. From this distance, I could see that her face looked like a mess. You look terrible.
I suppose that makes two of us.
She smiled at me. I tried to smile back. I'm not used to looking like this. I feel as if someone will disapprove. That I'm not supposed to be seen like this.
There's no one on this planet that will disapprove. I don't mind.
Thank you. She began to pick out a flower, rubbing it between her fingers. I looked off at the ship again. Celia, I want to go home.
To IKEA?
I turned toward her. I want to go somewhere where I can take a nice, long rest. That's where I want to go. She nodded. We both went to the crash site together. Celia, where's your home?
Sorry?
Since you are a mercenary, where do you consider your home?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. I don't know, I suppose.
What about your home planet?
I already told you. That's not where I consider my home.
Then what about your family? Wherever your family is your home, right? Do they not live on some far-off planet? Is that not your home?
I am not yet ready to join them, I think.
What do you mean? She didn't answer, but then finally,
Your home is wherever you want it to be. Wherever you feel safest.
that reminds me of those like pillows, home is where the heart is.
Right?
Like I know this is an intense situation. It's like now I picture like those live, laugh, love
Oh, God.
little things and like the pillows. You know? They're gonna be quaint lesbians. I looked at her. She seemed sad. Then your home can change, then.
I always thought they could.
I see. I mused over what I thought, that thought for the rest of the day.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten a bad end yet.
Yeah. I feel like we've been doing everything wrong, even though we're like specifically at the crash site.
Mm-hmm.
Celia looked up from where she stood looking over the ship. I do not want to go back. I wouldn't feel safe there.
It's good that you're finally admitting it.
Because you won't tell anyone. She nodded. But I have to go back. Of that I am sure.
Why? You don't have to go back.
Either I stay here for the rest of my life or I go back. And staying here would only be running away.
But Helena, you deserve happiness.
Are you saying that I wouldn't find happiness in IKEA?
Well,
She didn't answer.
it would be hard, I think.
And what of finding happiness here? On this abandoned planet? Where, Celia, would I find happiness there? With me! God, just be like, you know what? We're alone. No one's around.
We're in a lover's planet.
Yeah, like this is the perfect scenery. Just do it. Just do it.
I don't know.
I appreciate your sentiment, but it will be hard, of that I know. It will be so very hard, but I'll find some smidgen of happiness there, and perhaps if I knew that there were people on my side out there, things would be easier. I looked at her.
Of course, Helena.
Celia's watching her departed sister's graves. I walked up to her. I had to apologize to her.
To whom?
Penelope. I paused, unsure of what to say. I did not realize. She must have been waiting for her wife to return. I like how everyone is a lesbian, though.
I know, it's great.
But as the war dragged on, perhaps if I had returned sooner, Odysseus would have been released from her soldier duties and would have returned to her when she was still alive. How is this made for a game jam?
This is really good.
Yeah. Like, please make more. This is, like, really well done.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I wonder.
Oh, okay, what do you mean?
This is the first rescue mission that IKEA has attempted to recover you, from my knowledge. I am unsure if the war would have truly ended if you had been returned sooner.
It would have.
But what kind of country would declare an all-out war over the kidnapping of a single woman? I mean, no disrespect to yourself, but certainly there had to be another reason.
Enough!
Helena.
Things are easier this way. The war, I mean.
But it is placing the entire blame of the war on you, and it might not even be the truth.
Does the truth even matter in cases such as this? No, it doesn't.
IKEA is a cruel country. And you want to return?
All countries are cruel. Luisa played most of the same tricks when I was there. Celia, I'm sick of running, expecting to find things that are different in other places. They aren't. Instead, I would like to turn and face IKEA head on, one more time. Certainly you can understand that.
Yes. Though, I find myself worrying about you. They are cruel, terrible people. Please never forget that.
I won't. I think perhaps things might be slightly different this time, now that I can admit that to myself. She let out a small laugh.
I wish you all the strength in the world when you return.
Celia seemed weaker. She was sitting by the graves once again. I walked up to her. Celia. She warily looked up at me, saying nothing. I sat down next to her. She was once again looking at Penelope's grave.
It's hard losing someone.
I nodded.
I thought it wouldn't be as bad the second time, but maybe it's the planet doing this to me. I feel weaker. I can't help thinking about...
She cut herself off. I tried to change the subject. Tell me about yourself, Celia. She looked tired.
There's not much to say, I'm afraid. I'm not as interesting as the great Helena of IKEA.
I laughed. Well, tell me something mundane. It would be refreshing to hear after all that we've been through.
I love to hunt, especially wild star deer.
She's a redneck! Ah, we used to have an annual star deer hunt back in IKEA.
This is like Downton Abbey.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking! Honestly, she's like totally Mary.
I know. I've participated every year I've lived there.
She laughed. What's your favorite part of the hunt then?
That last moment, when you've tracked the creature through the starways, and it finally thinks it's alone, and you center your scope on its eyes, and then...
She stopped. The words seemed caught in her throat.
Then you shoot.
Is everything all right, Celia?
Ah, yes. Sorry. It is something about this planet. It's making me think of...
Of?
There was an accident. One time, on my old planet.
Oh.
Star deer moved at the last moment.
Ooh.
And my sister was positioned on the other side of the starway. don't know what it is about this planet. It's making me remember her. We used to camp out on planets such as these on our longer hunts.
I'm sorry. Celia didn't seem to hear my words.
I left my planet after that. The atmosphere had changed. I suppose that's why I don't really consider it my home. I think you are brave to face those you left behind on IKEA. I could never do that. Forgive me. It seems that I wasn't able to tell you something mundane after all.
She got up and left. Celia.
Damn. It's getting real.
Yeah! The emotions! I'm like quiet. Usually I'm just like screaming and stuff. Celia was there again, but she seemed brighter than the day before. Celia.
Yes?
About yesterday. She shook her head.
Please forget what I said.
But
I do not wish to discuss it any further. Let us talk of other things.
I agreed, and we spent much of the day lounging around about the crash site. I'm not used to feeling so lost. Celia walked over to me and handed me the day's rations. I held onto her hand for a bit longer than usual. There will be very many angry people when we return. People like Penelope.
Yes.
But what do they know of me? They do not know who I am. They simply believe what others tell them.
Yet, they do not want to know the truth.
I nodded. And I'll find happiness somewhere there, amidst those people.
That is what you tell me.
But homes change, right? Perhaps not now, but sometime in our future, maybe I can make IKEA my home.
That sounds like a dangerous line of thought.
How so?
Sometimes you cannot change other people, no matter how hard you try. Do not excuse their actions because of that thought.
I am not excusing their actions. Menelaus and the people of Archaea, they treat me... I stopped, unsure of what I was about to say. I have a role to play as Helena of IKEA. She looked pained.
I don't know why you have to play such a role.
Because I'm the most beautiful woman in all the galaxy. Oh, poor me. Celia didn't respond to that at first.
Do you want to be the most beautiful woman in the galaxy?
It is my burden. There is no use in asking me that. I have no choice in the matter as long as I am Helena. And I want to be Helena. I want to be good enough to have ownership of my name.
Helena.
She moved her arm closer to mine and then stopped.
No one could ever take that from you. You are Helena, and always will be. Just as I will always be Penthesilea.
And will Penthesilea always be here?
Where is here?
By my side. Ah! Okay. I like good ends sometimes.
Yeah, this is really well written. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah.
Do you want me by your side?
Yeah, that's why I kept the battery out of the thing. We could have been gone by now, but I...
Right? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I want you near me, Celia. I feel safe with you around. That you won't tell anyone about me. And that you haven't laughed at me despite looking like this.
I would never laugh at what you look like, Helena.
She moved her arms to touch my hands, stopping when she remembered her promise. I nodded my consent. She gently cupped my I'm ruining the moment. My hands in her larger ones.
And I promise that I will remain by your side.
I smiled. Thank you, Celia. I feel calmer now, knowing that perhaps I won't be so alone when I go back. We enjoyed each other's company until the day ended. Celia was once again looking through the Helenicos, a strange look on her face. My, what are you doing? She turned around, surprised.
Ah, Helena! I was just looking for the ship piece.
Ah, I'd never shown her.
I want us to return to IKEA.
How do you forget? Like,
Right?
I haven't shown her. Whoops.
It's been like a week.
Yeah.
I want to be there for you as you try to make it your home.
I walked up to her, wrapping my arm around her waist. As do I. I want to make it our home. She smiled at me.
But that will be all for naught if we can't get off this planet.
She began rummaging around even more furiously, though, through the flowers. Celia, there's something I've been keeping from you. She looked up at me. Your friend, Penelope. She seemed to hate me even after death. The ship piece. I told her about the piece and where I'd found it.
I see.
She gazed at the graves, saying nothing.
We can leave.
Can't you, I don't get it. That's like, why would you waste their time so much?
I know.
Yes. Back to IKEA.
Are you sure?
I nodded and looked at her straight in the eye. I was ready. I was ready to return to IKEA. Slowly, she held out her hand.
Let us depart.
I took a deep breath and reached out for her hand. When we landed, the people cheered. The Walusian War was now officially over. Helena of IKEA had been returned to her proper place. The country returned to the routine I had always remembered, though now richer from the spoils of war. A few things were different, though. Menelaus had grown crueler in the time I had left her, and the people of Archaea were now more distant to the women who had plunged their country into a bloody war, though the rich coffers of the country helped to soothe some of that hatred. The largest difference was that I knew personal guard, a stoic yet kind soldier named Penthesilea. There were rumors amongst the populace that this new guard was a lover of the great Helena of Archaea. I did not mind those rumors as much, though Menelaus certainly did. My new guard took me on extended hunting trips when things got too harsh in IKEA, and the nights away from the noisy capital helped me to remember who I truly was, and who I was truly with. And in such a way, we survived day to day until a day came that we were finally able to call IKEA our home. Best crash site ending, a place to call home. And we got to have a mistress and everything.
That was so nice.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's so beautiful and it's well written, and I love the characters and I love the plot. This was great.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like that too.
Creators, and this was such a creative idea. It was awesome. I really loved it.
Yeah. And I love it because it's like whatever, like as long as it's space, I'm happy. But this is like so, I'm glad. I know I'll probably end up playing the flowers just to see what happens later. But you guys should download this since it's free anyway. It's really good.
All the games we play are free because we're broke.
Yeah. Yeah. One day we'll buy games, but for now it's free. Thank you very much, and yeah.